you. So I'm going to start with the yoga block, and I have a fancy little yoga block here with these little edges. This works better if you have a no fancy octagonal edges, hexagonal edges. Wait, octagonal edges. Um, if this also works with a foam roller too. So today we're going to do a class about breathing because I like to cycle through and we haven't done it in a while. And I just was getting a lot of kind of good outcomes for my breathing. I think there's some breathing practices that if we do consistently, they have more effect. And so um, thought I would bring this to you today. All right. So here's the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to just find our diaphragm. So take your hands here and you're going to find your rib cage. And it makes a nice little V going up to your sternum. And what we want to do is we want to use the block to kind of force that V a little bit wider, just a little bit wider. So let's start out here seated in neutral. Neutral spine, breath in and breath out. If you are more comfortable sitting on a block, go ahead and do so. We'll just be seated here for a while. So we're going to go back to that V. And take that block, and what that block will do is just going to give you a side view on this one. You're going to push the block in to open up your rib cage just a little bit more. Breathing in and breathing out. Try it in my octagonal edges the other direction, and that direction actually works a little bit better, my block. So you are leaning forward and you are making that block kind of force up. If you're making that V, that block is kind of forcing that V wider. And sometimes we do this and we say, "Ooh, that's kind of intense or kind of tender right there." And that might be. Draw your chin back slightly, allowing for a tall neck spine here. Allowing your block to be, again, that little bit of a wedge, but also just a tactile cue as far as where we breathe into. And elevating onto myself onto my block, it's worth it if you haven't done it. Allows me to just kind of lean into this a little bit more. I normally do this seated in a chair, not on the ground. Breathing in and breathing out. Now, I mentioned a foam roller can also work quite nicely. By a foam roller, I mean one that you can grab the end of. If I have a very long foam roller, I cannot grab the end of it and get that pressure into my diaphragm, right below my rib cage. So that one wouldn't work very well. Continue breathing in and continue breathing out. One more breath in, breath out. If you are really liking this and you want to keep doing it, go right ahead. But otherwise, doing just a little bit of massage to that diaphragm. Taking your hands, we're just going to go right along the rib cage on the right side. Circular motion, just riding right on the edge of that bone. And going to the other side. So breathing, and what does that have to do with our hip class? Well, that's quite a bit to do with your pelvic floor and your pelvis. So a lot. But your pelvic mechanics really afford the ability of your midsection to be able to have that increase in volume and that elasticity to go back to neutral. And of course, there's no such thing as sucking in air. All we do is create an increased volume, and due to pressure differentials, the air just flows in. So the job of our rib cage is to expand, is to get bigger. We do that by the ribs going wide. So let's go ahead and let's do a little bit of crisscross seated cat cow on our blocks right now, just rocking back and forth between the two. And you might find that your body likes to live in one version, a cat pelvis or a cow pelvis. Optimal breathing is neutral pelvis, somewhere in between. So I want you to go ahead and sit a little bit of engagement of your abdominals here. And with that, trying to make your back pretty well flat, maybe even reaching back and seeing if you notice that that's happening. Take a breath in. Long breath here. Exhale, let that go. Long breath in. And let that go. We're going to do some vagus nerve work here. And we're going to start this out in seated, but we'll be moving into quadruped. So we're going to learn it in seated. It's a little bit tricky to learn. I'll give you a 3/4 view on this one. So we start out by turning to the left. Then I want you to lift your chin away from your left shoulder. And as you do that, as you lift it away from your left shoulder, it's good. The back of your head goes towards your right shoulder. Now I want you to take your head forward in plane. So your forehead is coming forward relative to your shoulders, forward relative to your belly button. Then bring it back to neutral, looking forward. This is home base. Again, on the right side, turning to the right, lifting your chin away from your ear and bringing your forehead or your temple forward, coming back to center. Inhale here. And on exhale, the whole movement, turn and look left. Bring your chin away from your shoulder. Bring your head forward. Inhale, looking forward, coming back to home base. Exhale, looking to the right. Bring your chin away from your shoulder. Bring your temple forward. Inhale, coming back to home base. Let's go on all fours. You can do this on your mat. I'm going to do it facing you so you can get a sense of how we do this. Let's find an inhale, find cow pose. Belly sinks, shoulder blades squeeze together, chin is lifted just a little bit. Exhale, we find cat, tail tucks under, let your head hang. Find a neutral spine here. This is home base. Inhale, inhale here. On exhale, we turn to the left. Bring your chin away from your shoulder. Bring your temple towards the ground. Inhale, come back to home base, looking straight down. Exhale, turn to the right. Chin away from your shoulder. Temple comes towards the ground. Inhale, coming back to home base. Exhale to the left. Chin away from your shoulder. Temple to the ground. Inhale, come back to base. Exhale, turning to the right. Chin away from your shoulder. Temple farther towards the ground. Then inhale, come back to home base. One more on each side. Exhale left. Exhale chin and temple to the ground. Inhale back to home base. Exhale right and chin. We add temple towards the ground. Coming back to home base. Breath in. Exhale, sinking back into puppy dog pose. Tailbone comes back, fingers crawl forward. Letting your chest sink into the ground. And now I'll go back to my mat here, getting some openness. So the research does support the use of vagus nerve glide. I just haven't gotten benefit from it until I started doing it with so many patients that it's quite routine for me to do. So yeah, that's a way to increase vagal tone to allow that vagus nerve to bring you from a fight or flight to a rest or digest. Also a great nerve glide. Also a great assist in improving your breathing. Breathe in here and breathe out. Letting your belly push into your thighs here. Let's walk fingers over to the left, getting a side body stretch here. And this is a great one for breathing. You can feel your belly pushing into your right thigh. You can feel your right side body elongating. Breathe in, inflate that right side body. Exhale, come back to home base. Inhale, coming to the right. Hips go to the left. Breath in and breath out. Coming back to a quadruped position, hands below shoulders, knees below hips. One more inhale, find cow pose. Exhale, find cat. And then let's find a neutral spine here. Let's breathe for a moment, letting gravity allow your rib cage to expand. And out. Take your right leg straight behind you, toes pushing into the ground, then square your hips off, belly tight. Lift your right leg away from the ground. I'd like to put my hands into knuckles here because my wrists get a little cranky. Holding it right here. There are things that you like to do, movements that you like to do to work with your glutes. You go right ahead and do those. I'm just going to hold it with a flat back here. Breath in. And on exhale, taking right knee up towards your shoulder, stepping it forward, 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 and finding your lizard lunge. So yes, we're going to add some arm mobility into our lizard lunge to open up our chest a little bit. Right arm comes high. Exhale, reaching back. Inhale, arms come high, hips come more into right angles. And exhale, take right arm, reach it forward. Almost like you're coming into a little bit of a half splits. Inhale, right arm reaches high, coming into that right angle kind of lunge. Exhale, moving into your lizard. Hips come way forward, right arm reaches back. Inhale, right arm comes high. Exhale, we reach forward. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, grabbing your block here, coming into a half split. Heel your right foot into your midline and glide your right foot forward. Lift your chest slightly and find a wiggle of your ankle, finding that sciatic nerve glide. Now, I'm very into hamstrings, very into the hamstring pelvis connection. And knowing that your pelvic tilt really drives our ability to open the hamstrings, knowing that your sciatic nerve tone and that your hamstring length can also drive your pelvis. So if it's tight, you might find yourself tucking tail under. If you stick your booty up just a little bit, then you might find yourself in a chronically long hamstrings and you can't use them very well. So we got to find that neutral spine. Hamstring length can drive pelvic mechanics, which can drive your breathing, as we've talked. From here, take this whole operation to the left long edge of the mat. Bring your blocks with you and tuck and release your pelvis. I do like this with blocks underneath my hands here. From here, you're going to place your right hand down on a block on the lowest setting. Take your left arm high, opening up to the side. Find a circle of the wrist here. Breath in, and then on exhale, thread the needle. Taking left arm high. Let's place left hand down. Finding a block there. Taking right arm high, opening to the side. And exhale, thread the needle. Doing that 2 more times. Take right arm high. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, right arm comes high. And exhale, we thread the needle. Staying right here for some more movements if that really serves you. Otherwise, just sinking your hips back into your left heel. Right toe will just point up towards the ceiling. You can glide your fingers forward on your blocks, and you might find yourself with a little bit of inner hamstring opening. And it is never my goal to force into a muscle, rather finding some light opening. If you this is too much, finding a bend in your knee can allow you to find just a little bit of length. I'm going to move my blocks to the left. I'll need them at the foot end of the mat. Coming into a mermaid by taking the left knee and just tucking it underneath you, it's going to come into a mermaid. So left shin will be parallel with the front edge, right shin will be parallel with the short edge to the right. Start by shimmying your hips back, left and right. And there's so many things that we can do in this Z-sit mermaid. If there's something that's really calling to you throughout your practice, go ahead and find it. Let's start out by taking 10 fingers high. Float your hands behind you. Find a little bit of a heart opener here, maybe lifting your chin, pushing arms into the ground, finding a little bit of back bend here if that feels good in your body. Then taking arms high once again. Breath in, exhale, float hands to the outside of your right knee. Take a side body stretch here. So take your left arm up and over. I'm getting a little kink in my hips, so I have to pull out of this range of motion here. Squeeze my butt a few times, and then I can go back into it. Right hand down to the ground, left hand high. In this, pushing your side body a little bit to the left, allowing some opening to happen here, allowing your rib cage to expand. Can you push down into the mat with your left knee, with the outside of your left knee? Breath in. Exhale, let's cactus the left elbow, looking up to the sky as you do this. And for some reason, my fingers have to splay wide energetically when I do this to really get everything out of it. Inhale, take a left arm high, reaching up and over. Exhale, floating left hand down. We're going to come into a mermaid side plank. Right arm's going to swoop forward and come up and over as we come up on our planted shins. Shins stay right where they are at mermaid, pushing your hips forward. Breath in. Exhale, coming down to the ground. Right hand plants, left hand comes up and over. Side body stretch. Exhale, we cactus. Inhale to reach. Exhale, plant left hand down. Inhale, right hand comes up and over, coming up onto your shins. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, left hand comes high one more time. Exhale, we cactus. Inhale, left arm comes high. Exhale, float left hand down. Inhale, right hand comes high. Exhale, let's take 10 fingers down to the ground, to the left, tucking left knee into a pigeon underneath us, and allowing ourselves to come into a pigeon facing what was kind of the foot end of the mat to start a practice. Shimmy your hips left and right. My knee is tucked. My knee is pointing directly at the front of the mat. I know I'm supposed to cue left knee towards the left edge, left ankle towards the right edge, but I have a pointy pigeon today, and that's okay. I'm getting a glute stretch here. Hands to the ground, bringing your torso tall. Let's bring both knees to the into position for quadruped. Let's sink back in extended child's pose here. Breath in and breath out. Feeling your back rise with these inhales. Feeling it come into neutral with your exhales. From here, coming into quadruped position, hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Inhale, find cow pose. Exhale, find cat. Inhale, find cow. Exhale, find cat. Neutral spine, take left leg straight behind you. Square your hips off, pushing left toes into the ground, then lift your left foot away from the ground, coming up on knuckles. If you'd like. Like just a little bit of a sustained glute hold here, just to remind my glutes that I have control of them. Bringing your left knee up toward your left shoulder, and we set it down, coming into lizard lunge. Weight comes way forward. And I do like a block under my hand for this process. Under my right hand, left hand comes forward and high. Next, exhale, reaching behind you as your chest rotates to the left. Inhale, left arm comes high. And on exhale, left arm reach forward. Take your hips back, a little bit of a hamstring stretch maybe. Inhale, left arm comes high, hips come into your square lunge. Exhale, lizard lunge, hips as the left hand reaches behind. Inhale, left arm comes high. Exhale, reaching forward. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, reaching behind. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, reaching forward. One more time. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, left arm reaches behind. Knee comes forward. Inhale, left arm high. And on exhale, we grab two blocks if we have them, framing left foot coming into your half split. Still heel left foot into midline and find a figure eight here. Lift your heart, allowing a little bit of that cow spine to come in. A little bit of moving your booty backwards to get that stretch, if that feels good in your body. From here, taking this whole operation to the right, blocks come with. Maybe use them to reorient your knee facing the other direction. We're going to cat-cow here. Tuck and release your pelvis. And bringing hands down to a flat block. Take your left arm high to start. In the circle of your left wrist, exhale. Left hand comes underneath right armpit for a little thread the needle. Taking left arm high, and we switch. Left hand comes down. Inhale, taking right arm high. Exhale, we thread the needle. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, thread the needle. And from here, either moving through your cat-cow again or sinking your hips back. Maybe fingers come forward on your blocks. Moving blocks towards the right. Take your right leg. You're going to tuck it underneath you, coming into mermaid. As your butt comes down, left knee bends. Take 10 fingers high. We float them behind us to start. Inhale, puff your chest. And out. Taking 10 fingers high. Float your left hand down to the ground. Right hand comes up and over. Side body stretch here. Breath in. Exhale, cactus, your right arm. Inhale, right arm comes high. Exhale, float right hand down. Left hand swoops up and over as we come into our mermaid side plank. So left shins stay planted. Both shins stay planted. There we go. Then hips come down. Placing left hand down beyond left shin. Right hand comes up and over. Inhale. Exhale, we cactus. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, float right hand down. Inhale, left hand comes high. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, float left hand down beyond left shin. Inhale, right arm comes high. I think I threw an extra cactus on that opposite side. Well, cactus here. Inhale, right arm comes high. Exhale, blast mermaid side plank. Right arm comes down. The left hand comes high. And let's take 10 fingers to the short edge of the mat on the right. Tucking right knee underneath you, coming into pigeon here. Bringing forearms down to the ground. Breath in and breath out. Option here to come into either child's pose or maybe a frog pose. Frog pose for inner thigh stretch, a little bit more intense than child's pose. So taking knees wide in frog and feet pointing out even wider. My knees are as wide as my mat. Forearms are forward and push down with your forearms, protract your shoulders. Sometimes feels good to go in and out. This can be a little bit intense on the sides of your knees. The more back you sink, sometimes the less weight is in the sides of your knees. And sometimes on a cranky, immobile foot, this is difficult. And sometimes it mobilizes a cranky, immobile foot. From here, we all meet in quadruped. Quadruped on knuckles, whatever serves you. Inhale, find cow pose. Exhale, find cat. Inhale, find cow. Exhale, find cat. Neutral spine. Let's just breathe with that neutral spine for a moment. Inhale. And exhale. Take your right leg straight behind you. And we lift it up. There are a lot of fun things that you can do here, keeping your spine in neutral, maybe bending your knee, maybe external rotation of your right knee and internal rotation. Nice ways to turn on the glute a little bit differently. From here, right knee will come up towards your right shoulder, stepping forward, finding your lizard lunge. I'm going to use a block to assist. Sinking way forward in this, coming onto the knife edge of the foot a little bit. And then from here, coming into our mobility for just a few rounds. Taking right arm high. Exhale, it reaches behind us, giving us a twist. You know what? Let's maybe grab onto your left foot if that feels good in your body, getting a stretch right there. Pausing our mobility here. Taking a little bit of a deviation. Let's take right arm high. And then on exhale, hips come back, right arm reaches forward. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, reach it forward. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale, right arm high. And on exhale, half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Toe heel right foot into midline. And I like to keep chest tall. I like to keep it all at 90 degrees, finding a figure eight of your right foot. From here, turning this whole operation to the left long edge of the mat. Blocks to assist as we find our cat-cow. Keeping a supple spine to allow us to have those spinal adjustments, those little wiggles that we need when we move to breathe into our bodies. Coming down, blocks in their lowest setting, place your right hand down to the ground. Inhale, left arm comes high. And it's almost like you push down with your right hand, push down with your right toes. That's your anchor that you twist against. So your left arm comes high against that pressure. Inhale. And on exhale, we thread the needle. Reaching maybe left fingertips way towards right toe. Then inhale one more time, coming high. And on exhale, maybe 10 fingers to block, sinking hips back to your left heel. A nice knee pop there. Maybe you did too. Breathing in, breathing out. Blocks go to the left. Tuck your left knee underneath you, coming into your mermaid, 10 fingers high. Let's start out with a heart opener, hands down, chest lifts. Placing right hand down, left hand comes up and over. We cactus. Inhale, left arm comes high. Side by exhale, float your left hand down, right hand comes high. Let's coming into our Mermaid side plank here, staying with planted shins. Exhale, right hand comes down. Inhale, left arm comes high. We cactus. Left arm comes high. Left hand places down. Inhale, right arm comes high. Exhale, hips come down. Right hand down. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, one last cactus, pushing side body to the left. Inhale, left arm comes high. Exhale, planted down. Coming into your last mermaid side plank. If you would like to bring this into a modified side plank, if your body is craving a full side plank, there is no rule against that. Taking 10 fingers down to the ground, taking left knee, tuck it underneath you, coming into your pigeon. I have just decided today is the resting pigeon day. Now, normally I make you squeeze your butt, just not so much today. I think we're okay with it not being a factor. From here, you get to choose. Inner thigh stretch. Do you want to do a extended child's pose, a frog pose, or is there another pose you want to do? We're going to do a third option as we go to the other side. So I'm going to find a frog pose here, sinking forward. Again, protracting shoulders and shifting hips forward and back. Knees are wide, toes are wider than your knees. From here, coming into quadruped, hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Inhale, find cow pose. Exhale, find cat. Inhale, find cow. And neutral spine, take your left leg straight behind you. Square hips off. Can you lift your left leg up? From here, breathing in. I'm on knuckles. Take your left knee all the way up towards your left shoulder and we set it down. Inhale, taking left arm high, maybe coming onto the knife edge of your left foot, really sinking into this lizard. Didn't do that the first time around. That's okay. Left arm reaches behind, grabs your right foot. Sinking back. Taking left arm high, inhale. Exhale, reaching that behind. Inhale, reaching it forward, or high rather. And on exhale, reaching it forward. Hips come back. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, reaching behind. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, reaching forward, grabbing two blocks. Coming into your half splits. Figure eight here. And taking this whole operation over to the right long edge of the mat. And tuck and release your pelvis here. Coming down to a low setting on the block here. Plant left hand on the block, right arm comes high. And again, pushing down with your left hand, pushing down with left toes. That is your anchor. It's your opposing force that you're twisting against. And on exhale, we thread the needle. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, right arm high. And on exhale, sinking hips back into your right foot if that's not comfortable. Going through cat-cow once again. And I'm not completely certain that we just did cat-cow. So you can either stay here or you can go through it with me first or potentially second time. Tuck and release your pelvis. Torso is high now. From here, tucking right knee, just rotating right leg underneath. Mermaid has both shins come down to the ground. Blocks can push way off to the side. The left hand comes down, side body stretch. Here's right arm comes up and over. Exhale, right arm cactuses. Inhale, right arm reaches. Exhale, float right hand down. Inhale, mermaid side plank. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, we cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, float right hand down. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, we cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, float left hand down. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, last cactus. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, float right hand down. Inhale, left arm comes high. Finding your mermaid side plank, possibly coming into a modified or a full side plank. And in modified side plank, reaching left arm beyond your head, maybe towards the wall. Just getting that opening through the side body. Again, class about breathing today. Breathe into that left side body. And from here, let's take 10 fingers to the ground, coming into our pigeon. This is our final pigeon on this side. Tucking right knee underneath us. Final pigeon for our practice. We've got a few things we want to work on, but almost through with the pigeons. Find your breath in this. And pigeon, one thing we like to think about is we don't want to force into any movement here, but if there is an intensity where you can send the breath and find some ease. We are not trying to tear your muscles. What we're trying to do is make your nervous system, make our nervous system not hold back so much. And once that happens, then we can afford a little bit more movement in the muscle. So to that end, that nerve glide that occurs with breathing can be helpful. From here, rolling onto your right hip, coming into a seated straddle. If you want to do that facing front, fine, or facing side, either direction. Taking both legs wide, tall torso here. And the tendency is to lift your belly button forward, but let's maybe engage the abdominals so we have a flat back. Keep that flat back as we walk our torso forward. I like to use blocks with that process to kind of grade the amount that I'm going forward. It isn't about collapsing as far forward as you can. It's about finding sensations here. And with that, we do want a flat back. Breathing in and breathing out. Why a flat back? I've never talked about that. Because if we hunch our back into this and then try to breathe, we can't do that, right? And even if we stick our booty out and bring forward with a lot of cow spine, we can't breathe there either. And breathing, we know, is important for letting our nervous system go. So keep your back flat as we glide forward. Find a long breath in and a long breath out. Inhale and exhale. Breath in and breath out. Sitting tall. Let's bring both feet to the foot end of the mat. We've done a fair amount of forward folding. Let's belly tight, come all the way down to our backs. Find a little bit of spinal extension, a little bit of heart opening by moving into fish pose, forearm underneath one glute and then underneath the other. Pushing your belly button up towards the ceiling, squeezing shoulder blades together, breath in. Breath out. Releasing that. Allowing one knee to come into our chest, followed by the other. Give yourself just a little bit of a left to right hitch here, really pushing your low back into the ground this time. Maybe taking some awareness for kind of what that does for your midsection, what that does for your kind of breathing waistline area. Just spending a moment here, maybe with knees wide, curled up like a ball, or coming into our happy baby, elbows inside of knees, hands outer edges of feet. And a little bit of movement left and right. Breath in, breath out. If you're feeling ready to move on with your day, take one leg long and then the other, palms face up, let your eyes float shut, and just settle in. As you move into your day, and normally I would wish you a beautiful and joy filled day, but knowing that truthfully and scientifically, we can create a little bit of joy by doing our own breathing, make a few endorphins just by taking a conscious moment to breathe. So if your day is not as filled with joy as you like, perhaps it's just the universe's way of calling upon you to breathe. Namaste, friends.